Greetings, friends! It's Belinda with Blue Ribbon Designs. I am here today for my 9th floss tube video. It is Thursday, December 30th, 2021. Almost New Year's Eve. Shockingly, this year just flew by, but I really just wanted to stop in for a final floss tube of the year. I was hoping to get 10 in this year, my first year, but 9, I'll settle for that. The last couple months, things have just been out of control between my designing and my finishing and project bags and Christmas gifts and life. Just things going on in life. Trying to get into film a video hasn't been easy, but I wanted to stop in today, do a final video for the year, a little follow-up. I have some really fun things to share, so you're here on the right day. If you love needle and thread, this is a good video to be here for. We will start by talking about my frosty friend. This is my Christmas cross-stitch ornament for 2021. Many of you might have found it on my blog. That is where to get it. I won't go into big detail here. I'll put some links below. But for 15 years, I was in the Just Cross-Stitch Ornament issue. For 15 years without being paid. And this year, 2021, would have been my 16th year, but I declined. And the letter I wrote them back in response and how I handled that is all on my blog. But for those of you, who didn't know that, designers have not been paid for this issue. And I think that's why a lot of your favorites have kind of disappeared over the years. But I decided that 2021 was going to be the year that I found my worth. That I realized, what my artistry was worth. I tend to never say no, and I want everyone to be happy, and I try and keep my prices as low as I can. And will you do this for me? Sure. Oh, would you help out with this? Sure. Could you do a freebie for this? Sure. And then all of a sudden I'm exhausted and I haven't made a dime and I'm just frustrated. So 2021, I was like, I'm going to find my worth. Stood up to Just Cross Stitch magazine. I declined. I shared that with all of you. You shared it with your friends. It kind of became a big beast. And I'm happy to report that in 2022, they have actually changed their policy and will be paying designers for the ornament issue, which is a great thing because they wouldn't have an issue without the designers. And it's what they call their biggest selling issue of the year. So it's not a charity. They're not giving the magazine away. They're actually making money off of designers for every year since it started until next year. So in 2022, they are paying designers. I thank you all for sharing my posts, standing up, saying what was right, posting on their Facebook. I saw a lot of comments on their Facebook, on their Instagram, people saying, you don't pay designers for this, shame on you. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. And while I did not get invited for next year's issue, some of my friends that are designers did get invited and they will get paid, and that's what's important. So I stood up for what I believed in. I worked on finding my worth and it made a change. So thank you for, reading that, sharing it, and standing up to Just Cross Stitch magazine. It's a good, positive change for the industry. And maybe you'll see some of your favorite people back in the issue now that they actually get paid for their work. I did not get invited for next year, but I will have an ornament again next year. We'll see how I bring it to you. I really struggled with this ornament, my frosty friend, on how to put it out there in the world because I'm talking about finding my worth and, being paid for my artistry. And here it came out as a freebie. And for me, I've struggled this past year and a half. The pandemic has really made a difference in how we all are relating to loss and heartbreak, sickness, financials, prices on everything, inflation. It's been a rough couple years. And for me, this was just kind of a way to give back to everyone who has just supported my designs and my artistry for so many years. So even though this is a year of finding my worth and I did not charge for this ornament, I put it out there on my own terms and gave it to you guys from me, not from Just Cross Stitch Magazine, but from me and my heart. So you can find it on my blog. It is, I want to say it's 3.5 inches round. Don't quote me on that. All the information is in my blog post and on the pattern. It is stitched on 32 count sand dune by Lakeside Linens, but any obviously neutral would work, or something that would allow your snow, the white, to show up. As long as it's not a white fabric, you'll be okay. Blue would be really cute. I finished it with cotton fabric on the back. It's just a Christmas fabric looking fabric on the back. I made twisted cord. The colors I used are on the pattern or on the blog post. A little gingham ribbon, a couple little jingle bells. If you're looking for the bells, if you go into my Amazon shop, I have a link to the ones that I purchased. They come in multiple colors. The ribbon is in there as well. So that is my frosty friend. Thank you for stitching him. Thank you for sharing him. Thank you for sharing his picture and not his pattern. I appreciate all of you for doing that. I ask that you didn't share the actual pattern everywhere, but you share a finished picture and direct people to my blog. And that's just to get more, people to know about where he came from, my designs, me personally, the whole thing with the Just Cross Stitch. I want to be giving it to people, not you giving it to people. So I appreciate you doing that. And finally, about this, for those of you who reached out to me and knew I was trying to find my worth and said, I want to pay you for this, what can I do? And you bought me a coffee, you shopped on my website or my Etsy shop, you shared finishes or other pieces of my work with friends, pictures online, just really spread the word about Blue Ribbon Designs. Thank you. It always means a lot when I see the finished pictures online and I see people stitching my designs, and to know that some of you went out and bought me a coffee, some of you multiple coffees, and shared about the Just Cross Stitch issue, just all of that. Thank you. I tried to respond to everyone, reach out to people that bought me a coffee, and put little notes. I think I put the pattern in a lot of the Etsy orders. So all that is important to me, and I just want you to know you're appreciated. Sorry, my watch is ringing away. Okay, next up, we have Sunflower Delivery. This was a new design that came out in November. I didn't get a blog or a video done. I didn't get a floss tube done on this particular design, but it is design number 3 in my Rick Rack Round series that I've been coming out with. It is more of an autumn design, but it would work year round. It is stitched again with the sulky threads that I've been using for this series with DMC conversions, and it's on 32 count light exemplar by Lakeside Linens. And these little designs measure about 3¼ inches finished size, the way that I stitch them. You could do them with the pins or without the pins. I've kind of done several videos on these. This is the cornucopia basket with a pumpkin and apples, sunflowers, wheat. This one is the bird. I usually have a bird in each set of designs. And then this is the little house, and where it got its name is the squirrel delivering sunflowers to the house. That's where the sunflower delivery came from. The backs are just a autumn fabric I had in my stash. Any autumn fabric would do. The Rick Racks are hand-dyed Rick Racks from Lady Dot Creates. This time I used a dark red pin. It's almost like an Indian red. I used a light orange colored pin and then a green. You could use any colors that you want. And of course, I've talked about the pins before because I use different colored pins in each one. And if you want to put the pins in them, you can find lots of great sets of different colors on Amazon, and I have a link to those in my shop for those that are trying to find these specific pins. Those pins are listed in my Amazon shop. These are the fun little colors that were used from Sulky. And again, these don't have to be in the Rick Rack Round format. You could do tiny pillows, you could do ornaments, you could do knob hangers. They would look really cute on the little, in a tart tin, or on the top of an actual little tin. there's a lot of different finishing things you could do with these. But these work really great to put in little bowls and just decorate. I stick them on little shelves and have them in different places throughout the house in different seasons. I've just really been enjoying designing these. So there will be more sets. This is set 3. If you want to see how I finished them, I believe it is my floss tube video number 7. I do a full finish. I do a full tutorial from start to finish that shows you exactly how to put it together. So if you want to see how to put these together, it might have been the first set maybe I showed the finishing work, but it's the same directions for all the sets that I've been working on. So that is the second thing I had to share with you today. Sunflower delivery. You can find it in my Etsy shop as a PDF digital download. If you want printed format, shoot me an email, reach out to me, and I will get you taken care of. We'll get you a printed format. I charge just a little bit more to print it and exact shipping to get it in your hands. So we've all been busy like working on Christmas stuff, and I try to every year make a lot of my gifts. This year was no different. You kind of figure out in your life who appreciates handmade gifts and who does not. If I'm giving something, any time of year, I want it to be from the heart and special. So I do a lot of making of gifts, and my close friends probably are sick of getting things that I make because I like to create and send off things I make. This year I did a ton of oven mitts. So here's a couple of them right here. This was my first one I did, kind of a trial and error, just sample one that I'll keep for my kitchen. But then I figured out a better way to put them together. And so this was the second one I did, kind of finishing it a little bit differently. And I put the little loops so they can hang. And I self-quilted all of the fabrics I used. I'll pop a little picture up here, kind of how I gave them as gifts. But I made 2 for each person and tied a kitchen towel and a wooden spoon, and then a couple little wooden tasting spoons, which are the most adorable thing ever. I was so happy I found them. And I kind of tied it all together in a little package, and that was one of my main gifts I gave this year. I also did a couple quilts for people. That was a lot of fun, but it's been a lot busy trying to fit all of that into my regular workload. So I did like 10 sets of oven mitts, which took a lot of time, and a couple quilts. I did a couple little cross stitch pieces that I mailed out. So it was a busy year making gifts, and fitting that in with my design work, my finishing work, my project bags. Every once in a while I just need a break. So I've done a little bit of personal sewing just to kind of keep me on track and just to lighten my load a little bit. I am so sorry you're hearing my dog bark. That is Garen barking. He's a very talkative boy, and I have the door closed, and he's right outside. He's been barking for a while, so I apologize for the barking. I know that's annoying. I'm hoping that he will eventually stop and just lay down. Personal sewing. So someone sent me a couple of these tomatoes to finish, and I just wanted to make sure I could do them justice before I started on them, because I've made some before, but it's been years. So this was just a late night, I'm going to grab some fabric from my stash and just make a tomato and make sure that I know what I'm doing before I cut into the customer's fancy fabrics and screw something up. So this was just a late night playing around tomato. I was real happy with how it turned out. He's stuffed pretty full. He has sawdust inside of him with a little bit of fiberfill. And then I just stuck some pins I had in him to make it look a little decorative. And I don't know why I'm referring to it as a him. I guess this is a male tomato. So I worked on that. I also made this little cube pin cushion with some cute little poppy cotton fabrics. And it says choose happy on the fabric. I don't know if you can see that, but this fabric line, so me. The back has a little deer and some roses. Or I guess that's I should say the bottom. The sides are all just this plaid, but just a cute little cube. It is stuffed with crushed walnut shells, and these little pins are the puntini pins. And Paola is just the sweetest, most generous person, and she sent me a huge package of her pins several years ago because I reached out to her on social media and just told her how much I loved her and her work. Really special woman. Now she has some cross-stitch designs, and I'll try to remember to put a link to her down below so you can find her pins. She has an Etsy shop, and she does pins and buttons and all sorts of cute little cross-stitch designs, so check her out. But that's my little cubed pin cushion. And then I love this. This is a mug rug that I have on my desk now. And just simple patchwork on one side, a little teacup on the other side that I fussy cut from some favorite fabric. And then it is quilted. It's just little tiny square quilting. I did lines one way, turned it, and then did lines the other way, and they are like 1/4 of an inch apart, like they're very small. And then I did a couple, you probably can't see them, but I did sew, when I appliqued the teacup, I sewed a couple little wavy lines coming out, like the cup had like steam coming off of it. You probably can't tell from the video, we'll see. So that was just a fun evening project that just kind of got me out of my head. Every once in a while I need a creative reset, and this is some of the things I do for my creative reset. And maybe I'll put some of these types of things on my Etsy shop. If these are things you want to see in my Etsy shop, give me a shout out and let me know. Put a comment down below if these are things you would be interested in seeing in my Etsy shop. This is another thing I did. It is just a fabric bowl. A lot of people call them bowl cozies. They use them to put hot or cold bowls in, like a hot bowl of soup from the microwave or a cold bowl of ice cream. You would put it in here and it would keep it hot or cold. But I don't know how much I would use them that way, but I knew if I started making some of these, I would use them for storage in my sewing studio because I like pretty storage. So I made one. This is a poppy cotton fabric again. And I made it to hold all my pins that I use for my Rick Rack round. So it's filled with all different colors. I'll try and put it up closer to the camera so you can see it. Just a fabric bowl filled with all of my pins. And I keep that on the counter behind me usually. And so I can find them really quick. And it's just a pretty way to have them in my studio. So those are just some of the little projects I've been sewing on the side. I think I put most of those on Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen those. I'll tell you a little bit about my Christmas. Since moving to Kansas, in Iowa, we lived there my whole life. So we had a really big support system of friends that were really close on our street. We called them the neighborhood gang. And so we always had a big neighborhood gang Christmas party, and there was all sorts of exciting stuff at Christmas time. My husband works for UPS. He is in management. He's been with them over 20 years, and he is never home on Christmas Eve. He works every Christmas Eve. He works a lot of holidays. He's on call 24/7. And at the holiday time, I get it because he's trying to get your packages out. You know, he wants everyone to have a great Christmas. So Christmas Eve, he usually works. In our first year in Kansas, we decided that when he got off work on Christmas Eve, we were going to drive downtown Kansas City to the plaza and see all the lights. And if you're from the Kansas City area, you know about the plaza. I mean, it's a pretty famous place, so many of you probably know about it. But downtown Kansas City, and they light everything up, and it's just beautiful. And there's big lighting every year. My dog is driving me crazy. He will not stop barking. So we drove down to the plaza the first year we were here, and it was like 10 o'clock at night. And my husband was starving. He worked all day. He got home, he immediately drove down there. And there's no place open to have anything to eat. And we found the Cheesecake Factory was open till 11, and they were the only place in the plaza that was open. And at that time, it was like really cold and snowy, and it was not busy down there. We were actually able to get in without a reservation and get a table. And I'm going to stop right here, calm the dog down, and then start back up. Hold on. Get in without a reservation on Christmas Eve and just had cocktails and something to eat. And then we walked around down in the plaza, even though it was really cold, and we looked at the lights and I took some pictures, and we decided we were going to start doing that every year. So we did it last year and then again this Christmas Eve, but the last couple of years we actually made a reservation at the restaurant. And this year I'm so glad we did, because it was 65 degrees at the plaza and it was packed. We had a 9:30 at night reservation, and there were people as far as the eye could see. And there were people walking all around the plaza. Usually we're like, there's a handful of people down there on Christmas Eve, but this year it was packed. So, but it was great. We got right in because we had a reservation. We did our same thing. We had dinner, we walked, and then we drove to some of the local neighborhoods in Overland Park, in Olathe, and looked at Christmas lights. We went online and kind of found a list of places to go, and we found some really good lights. So I put a couple pictures up on my blog, I think 3 or 4 of my favorite houses, and one of them is my favorite house every year, and it's over off of Ward Parkway, and I just love it. That area is just, if you're from this area, it's just beautiful. Every single house is lit up. So we did that, and then I always watch our neighbor's dog across the street, Gus, on Christmas Eve day. And this year, because I do that for them, which I just do out of I love their dog, but Casey, Gus's owner, got me a tray of cinnamon rolls from a local bakery that you rise in. It's just, they're already pre-made. They rise in your refrigerator overnight, and then you bake them in the morning, and it comes with the icing and everything. So I did that on Christmas morning. We had these hot, fresh cinnamon rolls, and they were so good. I probably ate more than I should have. And my husband made French press coffee. We slept in. It was just a great Christmas morning. Then we did our other yearly tradition, which is going to the theater to see a movie. We always get tickets way in advance, so we're able to get in. And this year we saw Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man movie. I think it's No Way Home. Anyway, it was excellent. I'm not always a big Marvel fan, but this was by far my favorite Marvel movie I have seen. It was a really good Spider-Man movie. So we saw that. And then our Christmas dinner is always flatbread pizza and a nice bottle of wine. So we came home after the movie that evening and enjoyed that. It was so nice outside that we played bags or cornhole, depending on where you're from, you'll know what I'm talking about. But my husband's friends, for his birthday in October, got him the bags or the cornhole set. And we actually used pictures of our Jeep on the tops of them. So one of them is a picture of our Jeep in Utah, and one is a picture of our Jeep in Colorado. And so we actually had gotten them finished up. Jeff brought over the pictures of the Jeep, and we got everything all set up and played bags that morning. So that was really fun. It was just beautiful outside. So before we went to the movie, we did that. But that evening, after we had our pizza and wine, we opened some gifts. We've been married over 20 years, so it's Christmas, year round. If we want something, we get it. We take care of each other. But my husband we usually don't do birthday or Christmas gifts, or if we do, it's something small. I had done some things for my husband this year, and he actually did some things for me too. So he was very good this year, and very unexpected. But I had some packages from some good faraway friends. I have a couple things here to show you from that. So one of my friends, Miss Ruth, sent me this beautiful assortment of fabric. I'll try and lay it out so you can see it. It's all stitching or sewing related pieces of fabric. It just totally surprised me. I was not expecting it. There are these pink scissors, which I've done some sewing with before, and I'm happy to have some more of this because I've given it all away. There's some pins on this one. Just neat little, everything has cross stitches or stitching on it. There's some older Blackbird pieces. And then these I had not seen before. see if I can get them so somewhat seen. But they're cross-stitch motifs on these. And look, there's like a teapot, there's a bird, there's flowers. So I had not seen these before. There's one in like a cream color, and then there's one that is pink as well. And it's all little crosses that make up the motif. So super sweet. It had a couple little pieces of chocolate in this package, and it was very fun to get. It totally surprised me. And you know the way to my heart if you send me fabric. That is the way to my heart. So that was fun to open. And then Miss Robin this year, who always, it's all about the squirrel for me, sent me this adorable framed cross stitch that she did that I hope you can see it okay here. If not, I will put a little picture up in the corner. But I just thought that was so sweet. It's going to go up behind me on the shelf with other things that people have stitched for me. And Robin's done several of those pieces. But I just thought this was just the sweetest little squirrel piece. And then every year she stitches me one of these little sled ornaments. I should have brought them up. I have them all downstairs right now on display. For years, she has sent me one every year, and note to people, if you give these to your friends, put the year on the back of them. I'm able to line them all up, and I know which one came every single year, but she signs them and puts the date, the year on the back. So this year was the most adorable little bluebird. I thought that was super special. So I would, though, suggest if you make these little sleds for your friends, write on the back, put the date and your name, because that's really special to me that I can see all of them right in a row that she sent me every year for countless years. And then look how cool this is. So Simply Eileen pattern for woodsy pumpkin felt ornaments. And of course there's a squirrel and a pumpkin. It comes with the pattern. It has all the wool colors needed to make these. And then has the DMC floss and even the little ribbon for making the hangers. So I cannot wait to dive into this. Isn't that just adorable? And in true Belinda fashion, because my time is so limited for personal things, I will probably do a lot of the blanket stitching on my sewing machine. We'll see. Or I'll have it right in my stitching nest, and when I have a few minutes, I'll just try and grab it and put some of the, you know, a piece on here and there. But I thought this was the sweetest kit. So that was a really fun gift. Another brilliant gift. Check this out. A whole fat quarter stack of Kathy Schmidt's fabrics. So I actually the other day just screenshotted a quilt made with Kathy Schmidt's fabrics that I thought, oh, I could do that. And I really liked how it was laid out. So that just might have been forthcoming for this fabric that showed up in my mailbox. But just a perfect, it was really a perfect Christmas. And I just wanted to share a couple creative things that arrived for that. Thank you to those who sent me little day brighteners. Meredith sent me the most delicious little shortbread, gingerbread, sugar cookie, little tiny, those little wafer like cookies. They were so delicious, made in the area where she lives. That was so sweet. Catherine, I got a lovely card from you in the mail. Thank you. I just got a few surprises this year, and I wanted to share some of them with you. So thank you, folks. That was really sweet and special. And I hope everything that I shipped out arrived to everyone and made it in one piece. I usually send out advent calendars because as a child, that was just a really special memory for me, was opening the advent calendar, not the ones with the chocolate or the wine or anything in them, but just the ones with the little windows with the little pictures. And we would have them up against the window in our bedroom so the light would shine through and we could see all the little motifs. And that is just a wonderful Christmas memory for me from my childhood. And so for a lot of my close friends, I'll send an advent calendar each year. I try to do a different one, and just to make the holidays a little more special. Other than that, I have been helping my local quilt shop, the Quilted Sunflower, do some inventory this month, and we just finished up this week with the fabric. We did the end of it. I love my local quilt shop and the owner and her sister, and we had a lot of laughs and a lot of fun counting things this year, because you kind of get into that slumber party mode. Everything is funny, kind of, because you've just been counting for so long. So doing inventory, I did pick up something I've been eyeing for a while that I can't wait to work on. I don't buy a lot of projects because I have so much stuff to do for my Etsy shop and finishing and work things, but every once in a while I have to have something to do for me. So I thought this was really fun to pick up. It is an Atkinson Designs pattern that has, I just thought, you know, for the snow coming up this weekend, maybe I would find time to sew a hat or some mittens or a scarf. And it's all kitted up with I have the fabrics that are used on the actual pattern. Just a happy little winter quilt, and I thought it would be fun to work on. So I did pick that up, and I took a class for the Posh Santa, and if you follow my Instagram, you saw a picture of it. I mailed it off as a gift. I'll try to put a little picture up here for you. But it is it's a curved piecing, and it's a Santa, and he was pretty good sized. So now that I've done Posh Santa, I picked up their brand new pattern that is for Posh Frosty. So done kind of the same way. And I'm kind of looking forward to doing a little snowman. So those are two personal things I got when I need that creative reset that I can work on. A couple little winter projects. And the other exciting news is I'm going to be teaching a quilt class at the Quilted Sunflower. Not actually for the Quilted Sunflower, not at the Quilted Sunflower. They don't have space in there for a class, but right across the street in Spring Hill, Kansas at the Creative Place is where I'll be teaching it. We are working out the final details right now. We are thinking tentatively it's going to be on February 12th, which happens to be my birthday. But I will be teaching my Pretty Posies pouch quilt design. And it is actually just a small quilted pouch with a zipper. I'll teach you to like zippers. Has a little wrist strap on it. It has a 2-inch gusset on the bottom, so it will stand. It's fully lined, and it has no raw edges on the inside. And we'll go through doing the patchwork for the front. The back is like a focal fabric, which is really fun. These are 2.5-inch squares. So you could use a little mini charm pack and coordinates, or you could get a charm pack and just cut it and make the 2.5-inch squares, or even a jelly roll would work. But I'll teach you how to put in the zipper, how to put the whole bag together. The class will come with the pattern and the hardware that's needed to attach the wrist strap. And I'll have some extra instructions on what to do before you come to class. But when that is all finalized, Leslie will have everything at the Quilted Sunflower, and you will sign up through her. And we have a couple other things that I can teach as well. So I have a tote bag pattern that I might teach, or my little journal covers. So I'm hoping that this will be a popular class. I think we have room for 15 people. It will not open up for registration till after her break. The shop is closed for New Year's, so they can finalize inventory, get things moved around, and then it will open up the week after. So she's going to be closed for a week. We'll get all the details hammered out on this class. They will be posted on my blog and my social media. So if you're in the Kansas City area and you like to sew or you like to quilt, I hope that you will come join me. For those of you who've taken a class from me, I love teaching. I try to make you fall in love with the projects. And for this, you'll be able to pick your own fabrics, and I'll teach you how to put it all together and how to like zippers. So that will be coming. There will be more details on my blog. I'm sorry I don't have everything today. We're just trying to hammer out a date with the event, the place where we're having the event across the street. They don't have every day open. They're busy. So it will be a Saturday class, though, hoping that we can fill up the class. And if you like it, we'll do some more, and it'll be fun. I'm excited to do some teaching. And I have had some people locally asking about doing some possible beginner cross stitch or some learning cross stitch, or some finishing cross stitch. So that's a possibility for the future. But right now I'm working with the quilt shop, and this will be a sewing project. So I hope that someone will enjoy that, sign up hearing from here. But I will put the quilt shop information down below. And if you're interested, you can always reach out to Leslie and see if there's space available. And then finally, I have a couple new designs to talk about. So this first one is called Flurry Friends. And I designed it years ago, but a magazine reached out to me, and it was Cross Stitch and Needlework magazine. And I want to say this was like 2013, 2014. If you want the exact date, you can find that information on my website under the publications. But they wanted designs for kitchen towels. So I had designed these little snowman pieces. I had designed one piece, but I broke it up to make 2 towels. I don't even think these towels can be purchased anymore. They're more of a waffle weave, and they have like an Aida type cloth built in section. But who would want to do dishes with these after you put all that time into it? So I could see why they probably don't produce these anymore. In any case, I have finished up the original pattern, which I called Flurry Friends, and I don't have it into its FFO, but I do have it all stitched out as the one design, and it's a little bit different than the 2 together. But in the pattern, I will have the full design. I'm going to finish this as a bowl filler, and I have a fun idea for finishing it. That will be coming soon. And then I will have these 2 separate patterns available as well. So any of these are suitable for framing, you know, or multiple types of, you could put them in a tray. There's lots of ways you can finish these with your sticky board and your bows and all the different things. But this pattern will be coming soon. It's called Flurry Friends. This is just a little peek and kind of an idea behind where it came from. I'll give you a little close-up of it again. Kind of a country, woodland, snowman, wintry type of pattern. So that is coming very soon. It is stitched with Gentle Art sampler threads, and it is on Weeks dye roof, tin roof. This is actually 40 count, so it's smaller. Obviously, you could stitch it on any count you wanted, and you know, do quite a bit bigger piece that would definitely be suitable for framing, or a larger pillow, or in the bottom of a tray, top of a tin. Lots of options out there. Oh, or on maybe a wooden board. Just fun stuff. The next one, so new, I don't even have a title for it yet. I just stitched the 2022 across the top. It's my first thing I've stitched for 2022. This will be the next design coming out. It'll probably come out with that one here in a couple weeks. It is more of a Valentine flavor with the bluebirds. This piece, I don't know why, the colors, everything about it, it just makes me smile. It is Weeks Dye Works fabric. I want to say angel hair. Don't quote me on that. Just looking at it. And then it is Weeks Dye Works cotton floss are the threads. So that is coming soon. I'm throwing around a couple different ideas for the name of this piece. It's so newly off the Q-Snap. I don't have an exact name for it yet, like I do the others. I have a springtime birdie piece I'm working on. It is 2 pieces that fit together, and there is another set of rickrack rounds in the works. So I have it charted out. I'm kind of finalizing that right now. So new cross stitch in the works for 2022. It has really been a good year, friends. Even with all the heartache and struggles going on, and you know, just the daily heartaches that have happened since the pandemic started in so many different ways. I just feel so blessed that I started bringing my cross stitch patterns back this past year in the PDF format. I think I released like 11 designs or something this year. I released quite a few, and plus I had 8 or 9 quilt patterns this year as well, sewing patterns. So that has all just been a blessing. I want to thank you all for the great comments and notes you send me, and following me on social media and watching this channel. I'll try and get better at this and posting a little bit more often. But 2021 was the year of finding my worth, and I think I did a pretty good job at that. That was my main goal, and I got better at it. I won't say I'm great at it yet, and I know one person in particular that will tell you I am not good at it at all. But I kind of learned, you know, where I want to go forward. There will definitely be a lot more project bags in my Etsy shop. A lot of you, they sell out so fast I can't keep them in stock, and I thank you for that. Part of that is because I have yards upon yards upon yards of old Blackbird Designs fabric going back to, you know, 2010, 11, 12. Like, I have over the years hoarded a lot of their fabric. I've coveted it, trying to figure out all these special projects, and I realized I really need to sew with this because there's always going to be more fabric. So I have been doing a lot of Blackbird Designs bags, and I have been fussy cutting them to try and get all the alphabets in for you and all the special things. And I really enjoy the bag making process. So I have a fun way I want to market them. But for those of you who've reached out to me and said, I didn't get in on the last batch of bags, there are more coming. The last couple weeks, we had a bit of a tragedy in our family, and it's kind of just brought up some stuff for me, and I've been doing some reflecting, and between that and the Christmas rush and trying to get the final finishing out of here. So I haven't had as many project bags as I'd like to in the shop, but there are more coming, and my studio, what you see is clean, but around me is a disaster. And I see piles of bags ready to sew over here, and a lot of them are specialty sampler fabrics that you have all asked for. Those are coming. I really want to focus on my cross-stitch quilt and quilting designs and my project bags and some little fun little, you know, smaller items that people would like to see in my Etsy shop, and step back from the finishing. So I am taking a break from finishing. I only have one order left in the house. That is for a client, and it is for someone who I love working with. So it's not work. It's more fun to do. Other than that, I'm taking a break from finishing, and kind of the negativity that comes along with it, and focusing on things that make me happier. And so this 2022 is going to be projects that make me happy, and learning how to say no a little bit more, and still trying to find my worth and my place in this creative industry. But I thank you for sticking in there with me and watching this till the end. I hope you saw something that inspired you and brought you joy. I hope you feel creative and you want to go work on something special, or maybe you were stitching the whole time that this video has been running. But thank you. I'm grateful is the best word I can use to describe it. I am very grateful for all of you. I wish you all the best in 2022. Have a great, safe, fun New Year's Eve, and I will be back with you in the new year to share more in the new designs and catch up with you again. Thanks for visiting today, friends. Bye.